The Alashanians were a sapient species native to the planet Alashan, a terrestrial planet in the region of the galaxy that would eventually be called Wild Space. Physiologically, they were reptilian humanoids with scaly green skin, two prehensile tails, and crocodilian heads. Their most striking feature, however, was the pair of wings that grew from their backs. These wings, which were huge and covered in feathers, gave the Alashanians a very impressive silhouette. Their wings were so important to them that the very name Alashanian translated to people of the wing in the Alashanians' own language. The planet Alashan was a beautiful terrestrial world of verdant forests that were home to the snow falcons and the ranfics, as well as the shy hamadryads. The cities the Alashanians built were as beautiful as the planet's natural features, and soon it became known as a world of incomparable magnificence, with rumors of hidden treasure. Like all the elder races and their early offspring species, the Alashanians began as an innocent and peaceful people who were happy to share their world's wonders and resources with others. They had one offspring species to their name, the Skytari, who lived on the planet Sky in the Outer Rim. Tragically, the Alashanians' age of innocence would end when they made human contact, setting off a chain of events that would shake the galaxy forever. The Alashanians welcomed visitors to Alashan, who came through a Quoth Infinity Gate to see the Alashanian cities for themselves. In addition to giving tours, the Alashanians also allowed visitors to partake of their midsomnal feasts, nightly celebrations of life that involved good food and fine beverages before the Alashanians retired to sleep. During one midsomnal feast, a group of human rulers from Pax, the planet that would later become Coruscant, snuck out of the cities and into the forests to hunt the snow falcons and the ranfics. These humans were spotted by the hamadryads, who rushed to alert the Alashanians. When the Alashanians saw what their human visitors had done, they were horrified, saddened, angry, and confused. In their state of innocence, they had no concept of theft, murder, or even greed. They couldn't understand why the humans had lied to them, violated their trust, and killed their wildlife. All they knew is that it was unacceptable, so they put a stop to it. They forced the humans back through the Infinity Gate, banned all travel to and from Pax, and set up a guard to enforce security measures. With the guilty humans gone and travel to Pax permanently blocked, the Alashanians assumed that the problem had been solved, but they were wrong. The banished humans were rich, influential figures back on Pax, and they had connections. They engaged in a propaganda campaign, spinning a media yarn that framed them as misunderstood victims of alien aggression. The people of Pax were swayed, and they came to believe that the Alashanians were coming to wipe them all out. It was then that Telotni and her brother, Splendid App, decided to intervene. App reached into the mind of one of Pax's greatest scientists and planted an idea. A design for a superweapon that could destroy all of humanity's enemies. The scientist presented the idea to the president of Pax, who approved, in spite of dissident voices that wanted to avoid a war with the Alashanians. The superweapon was none other than the very Infinity Gate that the humans had once used to visit Alashan. Once it had been converted into the superweapon, the humans blasted Alashan with it, and the Alashanians, who had actually forgiven humanity and were considering welcoming them back to Alashan, were forced to watch as their cities and forests burned. But thankfully, they survived under the Celestials' protection. Telotni appeared to the Alashanians and other non-human species as the goddess Anre, and declared that she would save them from the humans and their violent ways. All they had to do was renounce the Celestials, submit to her, and give her a small offering of blood in her name. Bitter towards the Celestials for not intervening to save them, the Alashanians renounced them and began building weapons in the name of a being they called the God of Fortresses. While they didn't explicitly submit to Anre, they too would end up giving her an offering of blood during the Empyrean Wars. Several centuries passed, and humans, who had short lifespans compared to the Alashanians, went through many generations until the devastation of Alashan was barely a memory to them. The Alashanians, on the other hand, had not forgotten, and this time they did not forgive. It was at this time that they were visited by representatives of the Gathering of the Green, a coalition of botanical species who believed that humans didn't deserve to live in the galaxy, or even to live, period. The Alashanians agreed, and decided it was time to punish humanity, not only for their crimes against Alashan, but for every atrocity they had committed since they came to the galaxy. The Skytree pleaded with their Alashanian forefathers not to seek revenge, but they didn't listen. They called upon their protector, Amon Lith, the Guardian of Forever. Amon Lith was older than the galaxy, and had seen the way humans behaved in their home dimension, so he had no love for them. He unleashed a blast of white-hot energy from his mouth and aimed it at Cormond, the capital city of Pax. In an instant, the city and its population were melted into glass. Men and women, young and old, parents and children, rich and poor, good and bad, all were dead. Some of the elder races saw the act as just, but many more were appalled by it. The Alashanians had gone from the survivors of an attempted genocide to the perpetrators of a successful one. While the Gathering of the Green continued their anti-human campaign, the Alashanians were left to their own devices, galactic pariahs abandoned by their siblings, with blood on their hands, forever grappling with what they had become. Years later, as the galaxy continued to be ravaged by eldritch horrors, the Alashanians decided they had to escape. With the help of Amon Lith, they built a supercomputer network to house a virtual copy of their capital city, into which they uploaded their minds. For a while it was a paradise, but as time passed, they began purging dissonant thoughts in an effort to build and maintain a collective consciousness. Their virtual city became a very real hell, and there they would languish until Alashan was visited by the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire, who destroyed the supercomputer network. It can be assumed that the act set the Alashanians free, but what became of their minds after that remains unknown. The Alashanians were first mentioned in the comic World of Fire by Chris Claremont, which was published in March of 1980 as part of the comic book Star Wars Weekly in the United Kingdom. In that comic, they are a long-extinct people who left behind a giant underground city, as well as a dangerous living construct called the Sentinel. In supernatural encounters, the Alashanians were made into the ancestors of the Skytree, who also appeared in one of the early comics, and were later expanded upon in the University of Sanbra Guide to Intelligent Life by Rich Handley and Joe Bongiorno, as well as Skywalkers, a Clone Wars story by Abel G. Pena. And now, here is my finished illustration of an Alashanian. For this piece, I used the background to symbolically tell the Alashanians' story. On the right side, there's a verdant forest under a pleasant blue sky to represent the planet Alashan in its prime, when the Alashanians were still innocent and happy. But on the left, there is a scorched, barren wasteland to represent what the humans of Pax did to the Alashanians, and what they did to the humans in response. As always, I'm really proud of this piece, and I hope you all like it too. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, peace out and may the Force be with you. This is Jonathan, signing off.